Imagine a way to legally siphon nearly $2 billion from the federal government. You sue yourself, take control of both sides of the negotiation, and then sign off on the settlement. This exact maneuver played out when the Trump administration settled a lawsuit originally brought by Donald Trump against the U.S. government. The price tag for the settlement was $1.776 billion. This payout has a very specific destination. The funds are earmarked for a short list of close political allies who have been prosecuted by the Justice Department in the past. The presiding judge's reaction to the settlement was one of total bafflement, summarized in legal terms as, "What the actual F word?" This case acts as a glaring signal. The executive branch is starting to treat the traditional rule of law as an obstacle to be dismantled. Even in a place like Italy, where political maneuvering is common, this level of self-suing is considered far too brazen for most politicians to attempt. The actual historical origins for this mechanism are found in the tactics used by Nigerian governments over the last few decades. In South America, Hugo Chavez relied on this exact legal loophole to maintain control over the Venezuelan economy. His successor, Nicolas Maduro, continued the practice, turning it into a staple of modern authoritarian economics. Importing these autocratic tactics into the U.S. system shifts the economic landscape, moving from a foundation of legal predictability to a system of state-sponsored patronage. This model of engineered chaos extends far beyond legal settlements, reaching into the broader macroeconomy through international trade. This chart illustrates the recent tariff volatility. Trade policies and rates now change so rapidly that corporations cannot accurately forecast their costs or plan supply chains. When the baseline disappears, long-term business strategy becomes impossible to maintain. In an environment where the rules change daily, the only way a business survives is to secure a good relationship with the regulator. Forcing businesses to rely on regulatory favors instead of written law re-engineers the market to require legal bribery. On the domestic front, the administration uses a second tool to exert pressure: regulatory sabotage. Rather than repealing laws through Congress, the administration is intentionally gutting the staff at enforcement agencies. This creates a trap. Strict regulations remain on the books, but the administration explicitly tells companies they will not be prosecuted for breaking them. Acting on that permission puts a business in severe legal jeopardy, as a future administration could legally prosecute them for these documented violations. By blessing corporate lawbreaking, the executive branch forces companies to rely entirely on the current administration's political protection, effectively ending corporate independence. This holistic system has a direct historical precedent: the economic chaos of Russia in the 1990s and 2000s. During that era, the Kremlin issued conflicting guidance from regulators, laws, and the executive branch simultaneously. When the rules mathematically contradict each other, it's impossible for a company to be fully compliant, making every business a technical criminal enterprise. Once everyone is a criminal by default, economic survival depends entirely on bribing the right people. The Kremlin used this chaos as a deliberate mechanism to establish absolute, inescapable leverage over every participant in the economy. This engineered chaos stands in direct opposition to the core engine of the American economy, the absolute predictability of the rule of law. That legal predictability is the primary reason U.S. businesses are the most dynamic and investable in the world. The slush fund, the tariff volatility, and the regulatory traps are connected features of a new, deliberate system. The administration is dismantling the American legal foundation and replacing it with an oligarchic patronage system. This systematic breaking of legal standards replaces objective rules with political loyalty, changing how the American economy functions at its most basic level.